in California, children enter the public schools speaking 140 different languages. The only language group that receives large availability of native language so-called bilingual programs are Spanish-speaking immigrant children. And they are the one immigrant group that does the worst in school with the highest dropout rates and the lowest test scores and the lowest rate of admissions to college. The reason they're doing so badly is they don't learn how to read or write English properly in the schools, since the schools don't teach them English at
227. English Language in Public School Initiative Statute requires all public school instruction be in English unless parents request otherwise and show certain circumstances. Provides short-term English immersion programs for children learning English. Funds community English instruction. Fiscal impact on individual and school district would depend on how schools, parents, and the state respond to the proposition's changes. These impacts could vary significantly by district. Total state spending on education, however, probably would not change. That's what we will see on the ballot, and we...
Superintendent of Schools Ruben Zacharias says the district must follow the new law, though his own feelings about bilingual's effectiveness are mixed.
We should and will follow the law. And Proposition 227, good or bad, is the current law. My issue with bilingual education was not the methodology, but the fact that, in my mind, it was taking too long to effect that transition from the child's primary language to English acquisition. In this district, it was taking sometimes 5 to 6 and even longer years to do that.
What these administrators and elected officials should realize is that to the extent that they violate the law, they can be sued and held personally liable by the parents of children whose education is being harmed.
Advisors to newly elected California Governor Gray Davis are debating the best way to deal with Prop 227 and bilingual education. And Ron Unz is working to get a similar measure on the ballot in Arizona.
In English.
The governor... If teachers know best how to teach kids English, why haven't they been doing it?
Actually, they have been doing it. There's some very good bilingual education programs out there today. There's some good English immersion programs that have actually taught children English. There is no program that limits children to 180 days, denies them instruction in core curriculum, mixes children of different ages, different academic backgrounds, that has successfully taught children English. In fact, Ron Unz's program was tried in Alice Callahan's kids, the children that opted out of 9th Street Elementary School.
Right.
They have failed to teach those children English. Out of the 74 students that returned, 2 moved out of that classroom in last year, 1996-97, and actually learned enough English to move into a mainstream classroom. That's 2.7%, which is less than the district average and less than the state average. And Ron Unz's co-author, Gloria Matta-Tuckman, her children, zero, not one child moved out of her class, and this is the classroom after which Proposition 227 was modeled after. Not one child moved out of that class into a mainstream classroom. So her redesignation rate is 0%. So, I think Attorney General Dan Lundgren, who called this proposition a straitjacket for educators and questioned the need for it in light of SB 6 and in light of the State Board of Education's decision, he knows that parents, teachers, and local districts know best how to teach children English. That's why the legal...
She's doing S words and finding the S in the children's names, because one way children learn how to read, especially when they're beginning, is finding letters in their names.
¿Cuántas hay S en la palabra Julián? ¿Cuántas es? 0. Vamos a poner 0. Kimberly, tú no tienes 0. Vamos a poner 0. Oh, mira, Lourdes, ¿cuántas? Una. Vamos a poner una.
About 10% of the day is spent doing English as a second language, which is commonly abbreviated ESL.
Whatever literature I'm doing in Spanish, I try to find something in English that relates so that I can teach an ESL lesson in my classroom as well that will go with the literature.
At Woodlawn, playtime is also learning time. These kindergartners have a supervised period in which they jump rope and play games in English.
Now help me say the rhyme. Here we go. Hippity, help me hippity, hop. How many? 4. I stop. Good. Okay, Andrea. 1. Try again, Andrea. One more time. these children come from homes where no one speaks English. All they know is what jump is in Spanish or what run is in Spanish. Wow, David, go! Jump! Oh, good job! And they're going to become fluent English speakers. But they need to start out where they are now because they don't have someone at home to help them speak English. And they need to at least have knowledge in their own language of how to read and how to write, because many of the skills in Spanish are transitional to English.
By second grade, about half of the instruction is in English. For example, Maria Dolores Solares teaches math in both languages.
How would we say the second? $2.96. What is the first thing we do when we have a problem? Nos fijamos en el signo, and that is we look at our sign.
You were teaching math. You were doing some dollars problem,
Yes.
and you were kind of moving back and forth.
I need to do that because I have some students that their basic language is Spanish and they don't have enough skills in English.
Saya bekerja di sampah yang panas sekali. Saya tidak kuat kerja di sana, tapi saya mengerjakan itu dengan serius karena saya butuh makan dan saya tidak kuat di sana. Saya kemudian kabur.
Anak ini kemudian ada program ya membawa nasi untuk anak-anak jalanan. Nah di sana saya melihat kondisi anak-anak ini ya, jadi mereka membutuhkan makan dan dengan nasi ini mereka sangat menunggu ya, sangat menanti-nantikan kedatangan saya untuk mendapatkan nasi dari saya. Yang kemudian juga saya melihat kondisi mereka ya, di anak-anak ini sebagian dari mereka adalah eksploitasi dari orang tua dan sebagian memang benar real mereka yang kabur, yang tidak lagi berhubungan dengan keluarga, mereka putus komunikasi dan sebagainya, tidak lagi punya orang tua, ada yang meninggal ibunya, ada yang meninggal bapaknya, kemudian ibu bapaknya kawin. Inilah realita yang ada anak-anak jalanan yang mereka hidup. Anak-anak ini banyak menjadi korban dari sexual abuse, exploitation dan sebagainya. Itu karena faktor ekonomi yang pertama. Saya sendiri sebagai social worker sedih ya melihat kondisi anak yang seperti ini, dan kami ingin ya, saya sendiri ingin langsung membawa mereka ke Yayasan Peduli Anak hingga mereka dapat perhatian.
Menjadi dokter dan dulu ibu saya berkata, Bapak boleh bodoh dan Ibu boleh bodoh, tidak bisa bodoh. Dulu saya pernah sekolah sampai kelas 4. Ibu saya susah membiayai saya dan ibu saya tidak punya biaya. Ibu saya terpaksa kerja ke PT ke Malaysia sama bapak saya, dan bapak saya pergi ke Sumbawa. Tidak tahu udah lama beberapa tahun dia bercerai. Dulu pas ditinggal saya pergi mana-mana dan tidak boleh ketemu ibu selama 1 hari, dan saya lihat ibu saya tidak ada di rumah, dan saya cari kemana-mana tidak ada, dan dia pergi. Saya putus sekolah, tidak putus sekolah lagi dan sekarang. Itu cerita saya.